Hi, folks. This is Deepak Shenoy from Capital Mind, bringing you a deal about the EPF tax on exit. We're going to talk about this whole concept of the EPF tax that everybody seems to be worried about. But first, let's look at what the deal is all about. If you looked at a person with a 50,000 rupees salary, it's divided into 25,000 basic and everything else. 12% EPF, which is your provident fund. If you're more familiar with the US, there's like a 401k equivalent. It's also 12% of your basic salary that goes into this employee provident fund, which is a retirement fund. You also get 3,000 rupees. That's 12% of this EPF of 25,000. It's paid by the employee, and 3,000 is paid in by the employer. This over 40 years at 8% interest on average with a 6% annual salary hike. We calculate this to be worth about 4.44 crores. Now you retire. Now something magical happens. You're going to take this 4.4 crore home. That's not the case from next year. The EPF tax means you're going to take 40% home tax free. That's 1.78 crores. And 60%, that's 2.67 crores. You have to either pay tax on it at 2 point, on this 2.67 crores. It's a one shot tax, or you're going to put the whole money into an annuity. An annuity is what you buy from an insurance company. They usually don't have such great yields. They give you things like 7.5% taxable income till the date you die. So you buy it at 60, they typically cover you till when you die, and then they'll give your heirs the principal back. That's one of the annuity options available. And that's typically going to get you something like 20 lakh rupees per year, which is taxable at the end of 40 years, your retirement period. What's different now is that the 60% you have to either buy an annuity or pay tax on it. Earlier it was 100% tax free. Everybody's saying you're taxing our retirement, you're taxing our retirement. Is this really a problem? And what is the real deal? Let's look at this. You didn't have to pay tax earlier. You're going to have to pay tax now. But till now, whatever you've done, till March 31st, 2016, whatever money you've put into EPF is fully tax free, even on your retirement, which means there is going to be no tax if you keep the money in the EPF, retire 20 years later on this particular amount till now, whatever you've put in, including all the interest. You don't have to pay any tax. There's no 60/40. It's only for new contributions after April 1st, 2016. So when you get your money, you're going to have to do this before and after calculation. That's a little bit of a pain, and I know this is going to be a complicated thing because, oh, I got 150,000 rupees till 2016, and then I earned another bit of interest on it, because whatever money interest you earn on the money that you've stored till now, even that continues to be tax free 100%. It's only interest that you've earned on new money, and the new money itself that you put in after 1st April, that's going to get taxable. So you're going to have to make this bifurcation at the end. And at 60, you really don't want to be doing that. So you're going to have to hire a CA or something to do this for you in order to figure out what your tax liability is. Now, the problem really is that they say that, listen, you didn't tax your money when you put in the money into your EPF. So you were allowed to put in money and not have to pay tax on it when you earned it. So that's why we're taxing you when you get out. But guess what? When you put it in, the amount of money you put in and the employer puts in is limited. Till this year at least, it was limited to 1 lakh rupees per year for your employer and 150,000 rupees per year for you. So anything you put above that is technically post-tax income. So you've already been taxed on that income, and you're going to get taxed on it when you get out. That's clearly wrong, and it amounts to double taxation. And what is really a big problem now is that people don't know what is really happening with the PF. All they know is that this exemption that they were getting, that there's no tax on your taking out your retirement money, it's ending. But why aren't we getting lower tax rates? You're taking away some exemptions, but why don't you lower our tax rates? Because that may help us save more or do better things with our money. That's how the government is supposed to be. You gave us an exemption, you put a high income tax rate. You take away the exemption and you give us a lower income tax rate. But that's not to be. Where do we go from here? A better structure is don't tax anything that I put in. No matter how much I put in, don't tax anything of it. Tax me when I get out. When I'm 60, I want to take the money out, tax 100% of it. That's a simple concept. That's what works in most Western countries. Where other savings that you have currently that you think, oh, alternatively, I could invest in insurance. And insurance, when I get the money, I'm not going to get taxed on that. We will see that tax, maybe not this year, but maybe in later years, maybe next year, maybe the year after that. But remember, when the government starts looking at your tax exemption as an exemption that's going to be removed, then it won't stop at EPF. It'll go to LIC, it'll go to your insurance companies, it'll go to everything else. They will grandfather it in the sense till the point that you've actually invested money, you're okay. You're not going to pay tax on that money, but any subsequent investments will be taxed, and this will happen over the next few years. Is the corpus taxed, or is the only the interest portion taxed? If I put in 5 lakh rupees into an EPF, it became 15 lakhs. I got 10 lakhs of interest over 20 years. Is the 10 taxed, or is the whole 15 taxed? The answer clearly is corpus. It is not actually the interest only. I know that the revenue secretary said something and Mr. Jaitley said he will look at it. I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to tax the whole corpus. And clearly in the Tax Act, it is about taxing the entire corpus. There is no concept of interest alone bifurcated that is stored in there. What about all the PF that you've invested in till now? Don't get out. It's protected. That means whatever you invested in till now, there's no point getting out of it, because guess what? Even in the new tax law, you are not taxed on that money. You will be, you can wait till you're 60 years old. Even if you're 40 years old today, you can wait 20 years. Even after 20 years, it won't be taxed. I'm saying this. I'm not the government. I know they find a way to tax it, but at least as the tax law of today stands, they're not going to tax it. And I think they will honor that word. Remember though that you can only take out your money, even if you choose to withdraw, you can only take out your money. You can't take out the money that your employer has contributed all the way till now, because it's locked till you're 58. That's a new rule that came in on Feb 10th by the EPFO. And I think that's also to protect your retirement. The government really believes that we don't know what to do with our money. We should give it to the government, and they will give it to us when we are 58, so that we don't fritter it all away. India has a 24% household savings rate. We save 24% of money, and that is much higher than most other countries. And we do it without needing tax incentives. So we're not people who fritter away our money just for the heck of it. Now, there's a big question: is PF compulsory? Apparently, if you make more than 15,000 rupees a month, you can say no to PF. And in a past company, I have actually said I will pay only the minimum. And in the minimum is as if I got only 15,000 rupees a month. I was earning more than that, but I said I will pay PF only on that much. That's possible. You should talk to your HR department for the purpose. Should I pay that much less PF? I mean, what's the point of paying 1,500, 12%, 1,800 rupees plus my employer puts in 1,800? Is it really worth it? Well, you know what? If I don't pay that money, right? So if I pay the minimum, or if I pay nothing at all, and if I pay tax on 30% of whatever I earn and put the rest in a balance fund over 20 years, I will actually earn a significantly higher amount. Actually, this is an amount for about 40 years. The same calculation that brought us to 4.4 crores with PF at 8% brings us to 4.84 crores with a balanced fund. Remember, I don't take out this money at all. I just keep investing in a balanced mutual fund till I retire. And if I do this for 40 years with the same sliding scale of 6% annual salary increase, start with 10,000 a month, and I will end up with 4.84 crores. That's 40 crores more. And guess what? By this time, most of this money, nearly all of it, is tax free. I'll tell you how. Because when you save money over a large period of time, even if they reintroduce long-term capital gains for equity funds, or they did tax anything more, you always are going to get the benefit of inflation or on your investments. So if you invested over 10 rupees today and 12 years later it became 20 rupees and there was 6% inflation, how much have you actually made? Zero, because 10 rupees at 6% inflation over 12 rupees naturally can buy exactly the same amount as 20 rupees can, because of the way inflation works. Now, you get a benefit of this in the tax code, so you can actually save, take the advantage of that. And the tax man says, well, if your 10 rupees has become 20 rupees, then you pay no tax. If your 10 rupees has become 25 rupees, you pay tax on 5 rupees only. Over 40 years, even if your investments have grown from 10,000 rupees a month and increased 6% a year, become 4.84 crores, your net tax liability when you take some of this money out will be almost close to zero, because you'll get inflation indexation for all of those years. So net, you actually get a tax-free retirement if you didn't do PF. So don't do PF. That's my my suggestion, though I don't want to call it advice, because advice is personally limited. I This is what I would do, but this is a better concept. It's simpler, it's easy, there's no lock-in, there's no having to buy an annuity. Annuities actually restrict your the ability to get money. So to, you got an annuity, you can't suddenly use the money for a medical expense, because it's locked in. They just pay you a monthly amount at 7.5% a year. Should we protest? I don't believe we will. It'll do us any good, because according to me, if exemptions are going to go away anyway, it's not. If it's not today, it's going to go away tomorrow. I don't think it's a big deal. And when we cry about farmers getting exemptions, or agriculturists getting exemptions, or corporates getting exemptions, we should be ready to do away with some of our own as well. What I would request, though, is let's not have double taxation. If you're not taxing the inputs, let's not tax the full input, no matter how big it is. Do visit us, do subscribe. I hope this answered your questions about EPF and the resultant tax. We have a bunch of stuff that we provide in Capital Mind Premium as well, and you can get our premium content in your inbox, and Snap, our proprietary data platform, you get access as well. Visit capitalmind.in/subscribe, and do visit capitalmind.in for more interesting videos. I hope you enjoyed this. Do send us your comments. Thanks very much for watching.